mean, it just, honestly, what I've learned, it just comes with knowing who you are. Once you know exactly who you are, then you know exactly where you're going and where you want to be. That's my biggest thing. I always preach knowing who you are because
knowledge of self.
Yeah. Like,
how did you go about getting to know yourself in that way?
Started breaking rules.
Really?
Started doing what wasn't expected of me.
Really?
I honestly, like, all those things I've heard growing up that you have to do this, you have to do this, I started not doing it. And then started to realize...
Like what? Like
the biggest one is not going to school.
Right.
That's the biggest one.
People say, go to school.
Yeah.
You got to go to school.
Yeah.
And
then there's like... the way people deliver music is you have to rap this way, you have to rap this way. I started doing things the way I wanted to, and then that's when I started to realize where I was and where I stood, and now I'm just continually learning about myself and about the people around me.
When you say your place in the universe, I guess the other thing I want to ask you is, does that help you have perspective outside of like your friends, your peers, outside of your city, outside of your province, to kind of like have a bigger view of like who you are and what you are, separate from, because I think a lot of us get caught down in like where we are, what we're doing, instead of having that 10,000 foot or like million foot view where we're like, I'm just another person amongst a whole lot of other, like.
Man, how much time do we have? Because this is my topic.
We got at least 25 minutes. Let's get in.
I mean, man, this is the problem with. I'd have to say artists because I've seen it in artists and I can connect to artists.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with Nova Scotian artists is they don't think big enough, and it actually bothers me to the absolute extreme. They're like, what does this club want to hear? What can I ship to RS Smooth, man? I'm gonna tell you the truth. RS Smooth is a good guy. Like he's the real deal. Like, but I mean, the world is huge. Why in God's name would you limit yourself? Right there, you set a limit. So right there, if that's all you want, that's all you'll be. So even when I write raps, I don't listen to local artists to compete with their bars. I'm gonna listen to who I consider to be the best or who got the juice in the entire world, and I'm gonna try to match their bars. I'm gonna try to compete with them. My problem is people think too small. You'll see an artist get so much love in a week on a YouTube video and not do nothing with it. It's like, why don't you take that and build? Like, no, but it just seems like artists don't want to build. And where you're black and you do rap, you're trapping yourself if you don't branch out or reach out. Like, I'll never understand it. You can't do it in Nova Scotia forever. Nova Scotia does not want to hear it.
True.
In the black neighborhood, it's very hard to get love and respect. Who goes to concert? White people that want to get drunk. That's all.
White people
make the noise.
White people have always been the crowd.
Yeah, and
always.
It's like, it's not that you're making the music for them. You always make music for yourself. Don't get me wrong. If you're making music for people, for someone other than yourself, you deserve all the failures you have in your life. To be honest. I want to wait a second.
You're saying a lot there, and I like it. But let me ask you a question. When you look out at a crowd, let's say, and it's 95% white, and you're talking about making music, like, is it a concern that if that crowd was like 95% black, would you be like, I don't mind making music for the audience? Or is it that you're like, I don't want to make music for that audience? No, and I'm not in a negative way. Like, I think that's a real deal.
I make music for whoever can connect to. Okay. So the what my audience look like doesn't matter to me. But what I'm trying to say is that you are already have the odds against you, and these are just like statistics. Like, these are just facts.
100%.
Like, you always have the odds against you when you grow up. Like, people will rep their hood to no end and then not be allowed there, and it just doesn't make any sense to me because black people have a hard time showing love. We like to beat ourselves up, and I don't know where it comes from. I don't want to get into that, but what I'm saying is you just have to reach for something higher. I don't understand why we're so content with pleasing the people around us as opposed to, like, there's such a big world out there. You don't even have to just do music. You can do something else. You know, like, it actually bothers me when I see successful rappers like in this city that like have good music and like they honestly, I question if they believe in themselves like I believe in them. You know what I mean? Like, when I see somebody good, I'm like, go get it, go get everything you deserve, because nobody's gonna give it to you. Matter of fact, they don't want you to have it. You think you're just gonna make it with rap? what? Like, this is not the 90s. Like,
No.
you're not going to. Like, that bothers me so much. I just can't get over it.